Welcome to the Mental Mantle, the show where we dive into the authentic thoughts of men. I am Chutney Young, your host, and I'm pumped to have you here. This is your space to hear honest, no fluff conversations from the mind of a man. Here we open up, we let go of the pressures, and build a community of men who are not afraid to express their thoughts and just be. Welcome to the Mental Mantle, Shamir, aka Bubba.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Yes, so before we get started, can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Well, my original name is Shamir Wallace. I'm a father and a husband of 6, 4 biological and 2 extra ones. They act just like me. So, beautiful wife named Naima from Chicago. Graceful Threads.
Yes.
Mother and father, grew up with them, Clarence Carthon and Linda Faye Carthon, 4 or 5 siblings, big family, so yeah.
Grew up in a big family, so
Yeah.
growing up in a 2-parent household, what kind of relationship did you witness between your mom and dad? Because there's, sometimes it's not common. I don't want to say it's not common, but, where we grew up.
My mom and dad, they were kind of like a partnership. My dad really didn't talk much, but when he said something, he said a lot. Where do I begin? That type of relationship with them was, my father was the king of the house, and that's how it was ran. And my mama did whatever the king wanted, and it made her happy, and it made him happy. They served one another really well and loved each other a lot. So yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So you as a little boy, who was Shamir as a little boy?
Bubba. A mama's boy, spoiled. Really tough. My dad was real. He was the rearer. He pretty much the disciplinary. Yeah. If he walked down the hall, my heart skipped a beat. So I was very I had a reverential fear of him. It wasn't a fear thing. I wasn't scared of him, afraid of him. I knew he loved me. However, the reverential fear that I had with him still is like that to this day. But mama's boy, really spoiled, but I loved everybody. So family boy. Yeah.
He was a mama's boy. So being a mama's boy, how did they play out through your life?
It taught me how to be a lot more graceful, a lot more loving, intentional, vulnerable. My vulnerability is great. I don't believe in holding anything back as it pertains to what I feel in that present moment, because that present moment can be taken away from me within the snap of a finger. So I maximize on every moment and say, hey, this is how I feel. We can work on that from here on out, but that's how I am. That's vulnerability,
Being very vulnerable. So
transparent,
being transparent. Growing up in our community, sometimes being vulnerable as a little boy or as a boy is not something that is smiled upon, I guess you could say. So what was the expectations of your dad? You being a mama's boy, you being vulnerable and an emotional being. What was like your dad's expectations, and how did he respond to that?
My dad's expectations was like, it wasn't no gray. It was black or white. You either are or you're not. You're gonna do what I tell you, you're gonna get a whooping. And his expectation was no excuses. You had no excuses. You do what I tell you, or you reap the consequences. Be a man of your word, stand on that, be consistent, be considerate and kind of others. That's something that he always pushed on me. I can be a masculine man and stand on business, as they would say, and just stand on what I believe. However, I didn't have to be rude about it and be real macho about it, and that's what he taught me to be. So
So how did that serve you? So growing up in school, how did that serve you with other people that you hung around, other males? How did that impact that?
That me growing up in that household like that, selflessness was taught to me. Selflessness meaning I had to consider others above myself at all times, because that's what I was taught growing up. Because I'm a church boy, I professed Jesus Christ to be my personal savior at 5 years old, and they didn't think I knew what I was talking about till they gave me the mic. So
you remember what you said?
Yes, I remember. She said it was like my mom was like, "Bubba, what are you doing?" I snatched away from her, ran up there, and they said, "Let him go, let him go." It's like, what you want to say, Bubba? Why are you up here? I said, because I said I want to be saved. I said I believe Jesus Christ is. He died for my sins, and he rose on the third day, and the church erupted. So that's what that type of upbringing helped me to be selfless and consider others above myself, because that's what the Bible has always taught us to do. So I don't go into anything thinking about myself. Like, what can I get from it? I'm considering others all the time. So that's how I was in school. Yeah.
So that's how you were in school, definitely. That's how you were in your dating relationships. And you dated pretty serious at a young age. What was that experience like?
That experience taught me, like, going back to how I was raised, I consider others above myself, and in that relationship in particular, I gave everything. I held nothing back, and because I wanted her to know that I loved her, and nothing else mattered, So it turned me. It worked out for my good in the end. But it turned me into a pretty selfish person as well. But I learned a lot from that. That's really.
So when you say love, how did you know? What was love for you at that age, at 15, 16?
For me, like, love was like I said, considering others above yourself. If I give everything that I have in me to make sure you good, and you do the same for me, neither one of us lack. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way I've always looked at it. If you take care of me and I take care of you, neither one of us will lack.
Right.
And I consider you above myself, and that's how I am now with my wife. And I think that's selflessness. Yeah. That's how I've always been. So yeah.
That's how you always been. So you said it turned out to be a little rough. It turned out to not be so good. What does that mean?
It was different. The love that I portrayed, the love that I gave, she's never seen it before. My girlfriend at the time, she didn't. She never experienced that kind of love, so she didn't know what to do with it. Later on down the years, after just living life and experiencing things, she apologized to me. I don't think you ever knew that. I never told you about this, but she apologized for just not knowing what she had. She never had that type of experience, so it turned bad because I gave everything. I found my validation in her. That's how I got my validation. And when she broke my heart, I was doing too much. I was just over the top. I was crazy about her, like literally. But when she broke my heart, I tried to find validation through other things. I was out there. So that's what I mean by a bad thing. Although I was raised in a great 2-parent household,
Right.
God-fearing household. It turned me into something that, right now, looking back on it, I regret a lot of stuff I did. However, it made me a stronger person, and like made me think before I do things now, because I don't want to lose what I have now. Yeah.
So speaking on that heartbreak, you know, you graduate. I don't believe that you were together when you graduated high school, right?
No.
You go to college.
Mm-hmm.
How did that heartbreak affect how you pursue relationships while you were in college?
Well, it was like when I got in high school. When I got out of high school, I went to orientation. We were still together, and I went to an orientation right before we graduated or right after we graduated high school, and I saw the different people. I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I get there, I'm just like, man, I'm gonna cheat.
You just knew
So
it.
I'm gonna break up with her. So I went home. I told her, I said, look, I can't be with you. I gotta go. I broke up with her. She cried and begged me and cried, and I was just like, I'm gonna cheat. So 2 years later, she graduates high school, and we ended up getting back together somehow in between there. And she broke up with me because she knew what she wanted to do in it. But yeah, it was. Yeah, she put me out in the rain. I was in the rain with a garbage bag, and
So literally, she put you out in the rain.
and it taught me one thing that sticks to me right now, is this: too much of something is bad. Not enough of something is just as bad. Everything in life requires balance. So it's just like, I didn't know why she broke up with me, but I figured it out after she told me. She said I was smothering her, I was doing a lot. And I just figured it out like it was an epiphany. Like since I'm doing too much, don't want to not do enough, everything requires balance. So it just hit me.
Yeah.
I can't do too much all the time. Like, you got to balance it out and be consistent with that. So with the balance.
You got to balance it out and be consistent. And so how does that roll into the other areas of your life? So balancing out, you said you are a family of 6. We'll get a little bit into, you know, being a blended family or the marriage a little bit later. But how does that balance out professionally in all those areas? Balance. What is balance?
To me, balance is taking what you have and basically, like, how can I say it? Making the best of what you had. No, I wouldn't say that. But balance to me is just not doing too much on one end, and it, like, I can have a job, but I don't want to work too much, because if I work all the time, then my home lacks.
Yep.
If I'm at home all the time, then my job lacks. So I have to have some type of balance there. But the thing is, I have to be in tune with myself to say, hey, what am I balancing? I know everything requires balance, but what am I balancing? And I have to pay attention to that, because after so long, I'll get off. And I'm thinking, oh, I'm balancing, but I'm balancing the wrong thing. You can't balance evil and good, black and white. Like, you have to balance the right thing. So balance is very imperative to my life now, because if I do too much, then I get tired of it.
Right.
I get bored. So
You're bored.
I have to balance.
Yeah. So when you do get bored, what do you say you fill those empty spaces with?
I used to fill it with things I wasn't supposed to. Now, my wife she's an intercessor. Like, this is like nothing against anyone, but like I live with her and I see her all the time. She wakes up at 6 a.m. praying, singing, preaching. That's all she do, 24/7. And it pushes me to be better and try to do things better and have balance in different areas of my life rather than what I've been used to doing and balancing out. So that's where, like, her and my church family, oh, I can't just do any and everything, and I have that conviction within me. I'm still working on some things, however, but I'm not just like where I used to be.
You have accountability.
Yes.
That accountability.
She stay on me, and my family does too.
It makes a really big difference. Sometimes when we don't have that accountability, like you said, we'll be like doing whatever we want to do these things that does not benefit us. Right now it feels good. It's chaos. It feels good right now, but ultimately it's going to have a negative impact on us.
Yes.
And so what experiences have you had there's been like a struggle that you had to overcome and, build up that accountability with other people?
About 2021, I walked in and found my wife unresponsive. At the time, my wife at the time, her name was Jacqueline, and me trying to save her, nothing worked, and I lost it. Like, I was just gone, like, mentally. I never had an anxiety attack. I'm coming from where I came from. It was barbaric. Stop being a punk. Right. Suck it up. Like, you got it. Like, keep moving. And I tried to use that tactic, and it didn't work. Yeah. So I panicked, and I had to depend on somebody else other than myself. And when I had to depend on somebody other than myself to help me, I had to help them help me, so I had to be accountable to them to say, hey, this is what's going on, this is how I feel, this is what I'm doing, I've done this, I've done that, I had a breakdown the other day. I had to be transparent and just be accountable to people that I'm not used to be accountable to because I needed that help. Simply because I was in an area that I never experienced before in my life. So that's what happened there, when I lost her. I had to do it. I had no other choice. Well, I was like, I didn't sleep for like a week. Like, I had to do something. So, yeah. So
if you don't mind sharing, what was that experience like? What was the cause of her being unresponsive? What led up to that process, and how did you manage?
That she had a pulmonary embolism. It was a blood clot. Yeah. I know for weeks she told me, my legs hurt, my chest hurt, and she was a ball player. She was like 5'11", 260. She's a big girl. And she's just used to having asthma attacks and stuff like that. She was like, I'm good. And that morning, she told me her legs were hurting. I was just like, let's go to the hospital. And she growled her teeth at me. She's like, leave me alone. I'm like, okay. You've been saying this for the past 2 weeks. I think you need to go. And God showed me at work what was going to happen.
Yeah. What was that? What was that like?
That I was going to walk in and find her unresponsive. He showed me. I worked at Embassy Suites at the hotel making breakfast, and I was making breakfast. And he showed me, it flashed before my eyes. And when I seen I dropped everything, I was like, I gotta go. And I left, and that's exactly what happened. And that's a tough, that's a tough area. I'm still kind of dealing with
processing the grief.
I thank God with the people that I have around me, my family, my wife, my children. Like, they help me process through that. Anytime that I want to talk about it, she's all ears. My wife, she always talks to me about it, asks me questions. My children at the same time too, and my father too. So that helps out a lot. Yeah.
And so, kind of in the same vein of grief, you were very close to your mom.
Yes.
And your mom has transitioned to heaven.
Yes.
What has that experience been like, losing your mom as well? Lonely. Yeah.
I had to be Shamir. Like, I couldn't depend on mama and talk to mama. I talked to my mama every day, and I would express my feelings and my concerns and all that, and the things of the world would just disappear when I was able to vent to her, because she understood me. But when she was gone, I had to figure out who I was and deal with those emotions on my own. Because, like I said, growing up where I came from, it's barbaric, it's pretty tough. And then my dad is from Chicago, South Side. He's really tough. Like, okay, you crying right now, but when you get done crying, wipe your face, get up, and go. Yep. You don't want to hear nothing else, don't stay there. So me losing my mother, I had to grow up. Like, I had to grow up anyway. Like, I had to go to another level of maturity in that area, for real.
So, what was the time span between your mom and your previous wife in her passing?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, my mom died in 2017, and then my wife died in 2021.
2021. Do you feel that you're still experiencing the grief of both of them right now?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is that time span, it wasn't long. And I had to deal with that. But like when I lost my wife in January, like the next month, I lost 5 aunties and uncles within 1 month. In 1 month, I had God. When God wants to elevate you and put you in a different room, He'll put you in different situations that will kind of push you in another area. There's tools and different things that you may need in your life that's going to help you in the next level. And that's what I think happened with me. Yeah. So I get to the point to where I'm just like, when it's chaotic and I have no control of it, all I could say was, I accept what you allow. My dad always tells me all the time, you should always pray 24/7. Yeah. Pray, man must always pray. And he always told me, God is in control. Yeah. That's it. God is in control. And if he's in control, you have no other choice but to just allow him to do what he do. You can't do nothing with him. Yeah. And that's when those calamities and misfortune situations happen, I just got to the point, I surrender. I was just like, I can't do nothing. Yeah. I can't cry enough. I can't holler enough. There's nothing I can do. It's out of my control. And I looked up to him. I said, I accept what you allow. With tears rolling down my face, I accept what you allow. Because I know all things work together for the good of them who love him. I know it's going to work together. I've seen it. I seen you do your thing. I know how you do things. It hurts. It hurts, and I don't understand, and I don't get it, but I ain't got no other choice. I ain't got nobody else. Like, come on. And he always puts you in that situation to where you have no other choice. You know it's nobody but him. He wants the glory. That's what he created you to do, to worship him. Like, so it's just best you just give up and let him do his thing.
Give up and let him do his thing.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you so much for being vulnerable, sharing about your grief, sharing about the experience and the process of the grief. The Mental vlog is dedicated to providing men with a safe space to share his experiences, to talk openly about the things that matter most to men. Your mental mantle is symbolic of identity, your footprint, valid expression of your guiding principles and beliefs that shapes authentic actions and decision making. It's your path for legacy. Welcome back. So we've had some good conversation.
Yeah.
this time I kind of want to dive into like love after loss.
Mm-hmm.
So, what was that process like for you? What did it look like for you to get back into love? Did you know you want to have love again after the loss of your previous wife, or how did that look?
Yeah, I wanted to. I just knew there was something, like I've always liked being married.
Mm-hmm.
Hadn't been great at it, the perfect person, but I love being married. The process, it took a while. I went to therapy for like a year.
Yeah.
I had to go through grief, counseling, and therapy. And I had to ask myself some real questions and answer them truthfully and be honest with myself. So that right there, that process, it was tough.
Yeah.
But I know I didn't want to stay where I was.
Yeah.
So in order for me to get out of that rut or that area that I was in that kind of depressed me, I had to release some stuff and give it to God, because it wasn't nobody that could do it but Him.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it by myself, because if it was up to me to deal with the grief that I was dealing with, I'd still be there.
Yeah.
Just being honest.
Yeah. So even before that, had you ever been in such a dark place before, and how did you manage it then?
Yeah, with my mom.
Yeah.
I was I was considered the tough one when my mom died. My mama had 4, 2 girls and 2 boys, and I was the tough one out of all. Everybody took it hard, and I didn't cry much. I was just trying to be there for everybody. And then it hit me like a month later, boom. And I found myself in a closet, like in a fetal position like this, rocking back and forth. And I had a panic attack. That was my first time having one. It was rough.
Yeah.
Because it hit me all at once, like she's not coming back ever again.
Yeah.
And I dealt with it by just breathing and remembering, like being honest, not to be super deep. I just had to remember that God is in control.
Yeah.
I can't do nothing about it. Like, there's no need. I run myself crazy trying to figure out how, when, what, who, where God is going to do anything. The Bible says His thoughts are not our thoughts and His ways are not our ways. So being that I accept that and I understand that, like, I had to just let it go, because I can't do it by myself. I couldn't have. Just being honest.
Well, kudos to you. Kudos for going to counseling. Sometimes that's a stigma with men, black males. So kudos for
Most
that.
definitely.
What led you to go to counseling before we go on?
Like I said, my church family. When it happened, they were there. They still there.
Yeah.
Thank God for them. Fullness of Joy Ministries. But that, them being there, and like that there was a girl, not a girl, a woman. Her name is Dinah Marshall. She's my big sister.
Yeah.
And she said, "Hey, Shamir, I know a lady at NEA is free. You should go here." And I'd never been to counseling before in my life. Like, I was just like, I'll get over it.
Yeah.
Life gonna do what it do. And she said, "You need to go to counseling, for real."
Yeah.
And she recommended it. She was adamant about it. So she recommended it. I was like, okay. I did it, and it felt great.
Yeah.
Because I just was able to dump a lot of stuff that I was feeling out. Not dump, but just share them with the therapist. And she gave pointers on how to deal with those feelings and emotions that I was dealing with. So
good. Well, I'm proud of you for that.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm a believer and a proponent of counseling, so kudos to that.
Yeah, you got to put that ego aside and go to counseling. Like,
Got to put that ego aside.
Yeah.
It's very beneficial. So
yes.
Awesome. So dating after love, how did you move forward in dating, and how did you meet your wife?
How did I move forward in dating after the counseling, and just doing me. I ain't gonna lie, I just did what I normally do and just try to live I took it day by day.
Yeah.
That's all I could do. And in the midst of that, I was working at a hotel. Mm-hmm. And there was this lady at the front desk from Chicago. She loud and country, like the girls I like, love him. Oh, but it was snowing one time, and we worked together. And they told us, "Hey, y'all can stay up here." So I was, for some reason, something in my heart and my spirit was like, "Make sure she's good. Make sure she's good." It's snow and ice on the ground. My little Cadillac is scooting through the town. Why do I need to make sure she good? I was like, man, I couldn't sleep. I was like, make sure she good. So I texted her and called, hey, you need anything? She was like, no, you don't need. And she texted me and said, well, I'll take this. So I went up there and I gave her her stuff. She opened the door barely. Thank you. Shut the door, boom. I was like, dang, okay. So I didn't, what's the word I'm looking for? I didn't force it.
Yeah.
And I was just there being a friend. And one day she was just like, can you help me move? So it was like a whole week I helped her move and put beds up and all that, just being cool. And the last day she moved, I was sitting on my bed and I told God, I said, God, why am I here? Yeah. My best friend, my lover, my everything is gone. I don't want to be here. Mm. I have no reason to be here. Like, my kids will be good. They mama got them. Like, I ain't worried about it. I didn't care. I was depressed. I was down. And I said, God, if you God, give me a sign. Why am I supposed to still be here? Yeah. Give me a sign right now. Yeah. I'm not lying to you. 3 years, not 3 years. Scratch that. 3 minutes later, the very person that I was helping move, she called, said, hey, I'm sorry to bother you, but can you put these curtains up? Wipe my face. Jumped up. Yeah, I'll be over there. I get in there, put up the curtains and stuff, and I got depressed. I got sad instantly because I ain't gonna be able to be around her anymore. Like, she's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. She was my friend, like, and listened to me and prayed for me. Like, the day it happened, she went up in prayer, like, instantly. Somebody told me about that guy named Marlon, one of my friends. But I got done. I was just like, well, this is my last little task. I'll see you around at the job. And she said, Shamir, you're not bothering me. She said, if you ever need to talk or come over, you can come over and talk to me anytime. And I've been there ever since. I ain't left. And what's crazy is, like, I've been in what I thought was been in love before, but she hasn't, and that made me feel. I was just like, well, with being that I've experienced what I've experienced, like, it's gonna be awesome for you to get the love that I have for you. Mm-hmm. It's gonna be the best of the best. Like, I'm gonna give everything. I'm not holding nothing back. Tell you how I feel. That's it, and that's what I did, and that's how I got her. We were very close, and that's how I chose to move forward. But she was so adamant on doing it God's way, because she had been single for 7 years after a divorce with 2 children, that kind of thing. She was kind of hesitant to jump back into love, and I wanted to give everything that I had to assure her that this is where you need to be. Like, I'm not gonna hurt you. I love you for who you are and what you've been, what you've done, what I've been through. You love me. Like, let's do this together. And that's how I've been ever since.
So at this point, how long have you guys been married?
3 years in 2 years in April.
Yeah.
April 22nd.
Yeah.
Got a lot of dates to remember.
Yeah, you
kids
do.
and stuff. Yeah.
So speaking of kids, how has it been as a blended family and co-parenting actually with,
It's been pretty
mom?
cool. It's been pretty cool. I mean, just like with any relationship that you have co-parenting, you're going to have one parent that does that one thing different and the other one is just, it can be miscommunication sometimes, different things, but however, when you're dealing with mature grown-ups, it works out.
Yeah.
And the children benefit from it in the long run. So that's how it's been. Maybe some disagreements in between here and there, but we always work it out because it's about the children. Most definitely, yeah.
It is about the children.
Mm-hmm.
And so your children look just like you and your mom. It's such a beautiful thing just to see you as a dad. Give me like your best experience as being a dad.
I have 4 daughters, 2 sons, all together as a blended family. I have 3 biological that are mine, and they great. And then I marry Nina, and Kennedy comes in, and she fits right in with them. She's just like them.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
My son Amir,
Yeah.
he's autistic. He doesn't talk, but he's very smart, and he's loving and all of that. Then you have Noah.
Yes.
Noah is like I was.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. He's like I was, spoiled mama's boy. But he's respectful and he's tough. He's learning. He's a kid. I mean, he don't know everything right now, but I'm tough on him, and his mama, she's tough on him too. So I think in the end, they're going to be stand-up people that love God and love their family because of what we've instilled in them from our childhood and how we grew up. The experiences that we had and the Word of God that we studied that helps us out in our daily lives now. So I think they're going to be pretty good.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah, they're going to be great.
Awesome. So you are a creative as well. An artist.
Yes.
You draw. You were an athlete. I see you rubbing your knees.
I'm still,
Are they hurting a little
no.
bit?
I'm still an athlete. I'm just out of shape.
Yeah, still an athlete, just a little bit out of
I can
shape.
still bang.
Yeah.
Middle linebacker.
Yeah.
To this day. No, I was just joking.
Yeah. Hilarious. So you are also a chef.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about your creativity, your creative side, and then we'll kind of go into how you and your wife kind of collaborate also in that space.
The cooking is something that I picked up when I was about 16. My girlfriend at the time, her grandma she couldn't move around. She was just like, Bubba, hey, can you fry these for me? And I fried some fish for her or something. And I'm the type of person, if I see something done, I can do it, like instantly. And I was watching this TV show that done a lot of cooking, and I picked it up, and I was just like, I remember that. Yeah, I can cook. I never fried anything in my life, but I seen it done. And I fried the chicken or fish or something, and they loved it. And I love the reaction I got from that because I love people, and I'm selfless, and I prefer others but myself. I care about their reaction and how they feel in the moment. So that made me feel great. And I've always wanted that feeling. Even now to this day, when I cook now and I serve my wife, before she even put the food in her mouth, you good? Yeah. You okay? So it's very important that I make the people that I love feel important, feel loved, and they're satisfied, before I am.
Yeah. And I want my tacos.
You can have whatever you want. Yes, I can cook it. Yeah.
So many people don't know this, but you designed my prom dress.
Yeah.
You designed my prom dress.
You told me what you wanted. I drew it.
And you drew it. I was like, okay, this is what I want. Can you draw this out so I can have something to take to the lady so she can make this dress? And I thought that it was a hit. So, yeah.
It was.
We did a little something with that.
Oh, boy. I didn't think you was going to come out and do that.
I did.
I thought you was just, because we were friends, I thought you was just wanting me to feel involved.
Yeah.
But nah, you really.
We got that dress made. And then I remember I went to college and this girl was in a pageant. And she was like, oh my God, can I wear your dress? And I never got my dress back.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Where'd you get it made at?
At a place in Lepanto, Arkansas.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Some lady made it for me.
You told me about that.
Everybody was like, oh my goodness. So yeah, you still have that artistry in you. Do you do anything with that?
I make suggestions to my wife. She is the founder, CEO, whatever she is the creative of Graceful Threads, which stems from an idea that she came up with, that she wanted to create thrift boxes and stuff, and that's called She Made You Look. Well, from that, it's something that she created, Graceful Threads. Yeah. Graceful Threads is something that I have now. It says Romans.
Rocking Graceful Threads.
Yeah, love by Him. Yeah, which is Christ. It says, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel of Christ." So this is something that she creates. I make suggestions. I would say out of 100 suggestions, she takes all of them into consideration.
Yeah.
But she probably uses about 40% of it. Yeah. But she's a creative as well. She's very intelligent and smart, artistic. So, but like I said, I make suggestions, and some stuff I'll draw out and say, hey, why don't we try this? And she's like, oh, yeah. But I still try to utilize those gifts. Yeah. She wants me to use them now to create like artsy stuff for our home, and which I promised her I would when the Lord blesses us with a home or a house.
May it be real soon.
I mean, yes, I want to create the home interior paintings and stuff like that. Yeah, and even choose some paint colors to some rooms if she allow me to.
Yeah, I think she might let you. So that She Made You Look.
Yes.
You can find it on all social media platforms.
Yeah, that's She Made You Look is the actual website, and that's where it originated from. But Graceful Threads is what we're trying to push out there, and that's what we've been pushing out. It's been, I think, 3 or 4 years that she's been doing this. I've seen her go from when I was helping her move. This is some of the stuff that I was helping her move into the new apartment. I was just like, okay, I see this. Okay. But I didn't think it was going to be like this. And she's very serious about it. So go check out Graceful Threads. SheMadeYouLook.com is where you would go and click on the 3 bars there, and click on Graceful Threads. And we have a plethora of different faith-based apparel with different things like scriptures and sayings, and all of it is scripture-based. And one thing I love about what she chooses as it pertains to these shirts and things like that, it's prayed over, it's meditated about. She don't just grab it out of a book and say, hey, this is what I'm gonna print. No, she meditates on it and prays about it. Like, it's not something, because it's something that's important to her, something that's important to me, that we spread the gospel. That's what we're supposed to do.
That's right.
Be disciples and spread the gospel.
In unconventional ways. And what better way to see it in your eyes? You read it. That gives you the thought process to meditate on it.
I'm not ashamed.
I'm not ashamed. We're not ashamed.
Are you?
We're loved by Him. I'm not ashamed.
Graceful Threads. Check us out.
Graceful Threads. So thank you. So before we head out, what advice would you give to other men about just life in general, their love walk, their love life, grief, any of those areas? What advice would you give?
Give God all your trust. Trust in Him in everything. Like, you don't want to get, I think that us as men, we try to take control and be leaders, and take control and do things on our own, and it's an egotistical thing and things like that. I think that if you submit yourself 100%
Yes.
to God and allow Him to lead you in everything you do, and some people may think it don't take all of that. It don't take all of that.
Yeah.
It does. You have to. You don't want to get to the point to where you have no other choice. You want to, in life, you want to make it to where He's the only choice.
Only choice.
He's the first and
choice.
only choice.
Yes.
Period. It's nothing else. I ain't got a plan B. That's all I know. That's all I want to know. That's who He is. That's who I want Him to be in my life. And it's just all or nothing when I'm giving. So my advice is to give God everything that you have from day one. And if you haven't done it from day one, take this day from here, this day forward, and say, hey, God, I give it all to you because I can't do it by myself. Look where it's gotten me now. And I just can only imagine how much further along and how much happier, how much more joy and peace that we will have if we would start from today and give Him everything that we have in our hearts and in our minds and our soul, and give Him full reign over our life, 100%.
100%.
Yeah.
So today is your day. If you don't know the Lord, this is your opportunity to accept Him into your heart. Led by Brother Shamir Bubble Wallace. Thank you for being on the show today. It has been a pleasure.
My pleasure.
And we'll see you next time.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Hopefully you have me back.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for being here today.
All right, no problem. I'm glad you had me on.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Be it your mantle to feel safe to hold your story outside of your head. Keep discovering, keep growing, and just be.